picture this. You run a Shopify store, right?
Mm.
And you've poured just months of your life into curating the perfect product line.
Oh, yeah, getting the branding just right, dialing in the marketing.
Exactly. You wake up, you grab your morning coffee, pop open your laptop, but instead of, that usual dopamine hit of sales notifications.
Just a wall of automated emails waiting for you.
Yes, a total wall. And they're all circling the exact same, super vague policy violation. So you feel your stomach drop, you check your Shopify admin, open the Google app,
Boom.
boom. Every single product in your store is marked not approved.
Yeah.
Your campaigns have just gone completely quiet. I mean, it is a total digital blackout.
It's the kind of morning that honestly makes business owners question everything. I mean, the infrastructure you rely on is just lock the doors.
Right. Turn off the lights.
Yeah, and the machine enforcing all this. It doesn't offer a human shoulder to cry on. You're suddenly dealing with an algorithm that's acting as judge, jury, and executioner.
And the craziest part is just how opaque the whole process feels. I mean, whether you're managing your own e-commerce empire or maybe consulting for frantic clients, or you're just fascinated by this rigid bureaucracy of big tech, you really have to understand how this machine thinks.
You really do.
So, okay, let's unpack this, because today's deep dive is all about decoding the labyrinth of Google Merchant Center suspensions.
It is a labyrinth for sure.
Totally. We're taking a stack of source notes today, and we're going to map out exactly what Google's crawler bots are actually checking. We'll look at the hidden clocks running in the background and the specific order of operations you need to follow to get a store back online.
Because the goal here is to make sure you never make the one fatal mistake that costs you the most valuable thing you have, which is, time.
Right, time.
Time really is the currency when you're caught in this system. Like, every single day you're offline is a day of lost revenue.
Yeah, the meter's just running.
Exactly. So the first 10 minutes of your response to that blackout dictate literally everything that follows. The absolute first step is establishing a proper diagnosis.
Meaning you have to figure out if you're looking at a superficial scratch or like a massive heart attack.
Precisely.
Because before you can even begin to fix the problem, you need the right vocabulary for it. According to the source material, there is a massive and very expensive difference between a product disapproval and an account suspension.
Right.
Yet you look around e-commerce forums and people throw these terms around like they mean the exact same thing.
Yeah, they really do. And what's fascinating here is how that confusion creates an entire cottage industry of bad advice. Google actually keeps those two concepts strictly separated in their architecture.
Okay, so break that down for us. What is a product disapproval?
So a product disapproval just means an individual offer failed a policy check. Like, let's say you upload a new batch of inventory, but the image resolution is too low, or the price in your feed doesn't match the landing page. The bot flags that specific item. But the crucial detail is that if you have a product disapproval, the rest of your catalog keeps serving.
So the store stays open for business.
Exactly. It's an isolated incident.
Got it. Which is why trying to fix an account suspension by manually reapproving individual items is like trying to fix a blown car engine by changing the tires one by one.
That analogy captures the wasted effort perfectly.
Right. Like you're looking down at the treads, you're tweaking product descriptions and swapping out photos, but the system is actually judging the entire vehicle.
Yeah. An account suspension is a massive escalation. Google's own documentation makes it super clear repeated or severe rule violations lead to an account suspension.
Think about the whole store.
Right. The signature shape of an account suspension is its scope. Like, everything fails at once. It announces itself at the account level with these aggressive warnings on your overview pages rather than, hiding in an itemized list. It literally stops the entire catalog dead.
Wow. Okay, so you step back, you look at the dashboard, and you realize the engine is blown, the whole account is suspended. Now you need to know which rule you broke.
Yeah, and when you first encounter Google's policy pages, it feels like this endless scroll of legalese.
Oh, totally. It's overwhelming.
But they actually group their policies into 4 distinct families of law. And knowing which family your specific notice belongs to is what turns a terrifying email into an actionable piece of work.
Okay, what's the first family?
The first family is prohibited content. These are things Google simply will not carry on its network, ever.
Like what?
Counterfeit goods, dangerous products like weapons or explosives, things that enable dishonest behavior.
Which makes total sense. I mean, they're protecting the integrity of the network. No fake designer bags, no fireworks.
Exactly. Then we move to the second family, which is prohibited practices. Now, this is less about your physical inventory and more about your behavior as an advertiser,
Behavior. Like what kind of behavior?
like malicious abuse of the ad network or irresponsible data collection, like selling customer emails, or misrepresentation.
Got it. Okay, what's number 3?
The third family is restricted content. These are products that are allowed, but they live inside very strict geofenced limits.
Okay, like alcohol.
Yeah, alcohol, gambling, adult-oriented content, healthcare products, and even, this is interesting, high-fat, sugar, and salt foods in certain regions.
Oh, wow. Okay, I have to challenge the logic of this system for a second here.
Sure, go ahead.
If I'm a merchant looking at that list, I might think I'm completely safe. Say I'm selling, I don't know, hand-poured soy candles or organic cotton t-shirt.
Right, totally benign stuff.
Yeah, no counterfeit bags, no alcohol, no weapons. I'm paying Google for ad clicks. Shouldn't they just take my money? How does a store selling perfectly legal, boring products fall foul of these rules and get an entire account suspended?
Right, so it comes down to the fourth family of rules, and this is the trapdoor that swings open under perfectly legitimate businesses every single day.
Okay, brace me. What is it?
The fourth family is site requirements. And this has absolutely nothing to do with the physical items in your catalog. It is entirely about the condition and the trustworthiness of the digital storefront itself.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, Google enforces editorial and professional standards because, at the end of the day, they are vouching for you when they show your ad to a searcher.
Here's where it gets really interesting in the sources. When you look at the documentation Google maintains, specifically for Shopify merchants, they name 3 highly common reasons for warnings and account suspensions.
And all 3 fall under this operational umbrella.
Exactly, they are. Listing return and refund policies, insufficient contact information, and misrepresentation of self or products.
Yeah, and the narrowness of those 3 specific reasons is entirely intentional. Google is handing merchants a targeted list that they can literally check in one sitting.
Right.
They're basically saying, hey, if you want us to send traffic to your store, you need to prove you are a real, accountable business entity.
But the sources highlight this massive, almost invisible trap baked right into the Shopify setup flow.
Oh, yeah. The checklist.
The checklist. When you connect your Shopify store to Merchant Center, the interface walks you through a setup checklist. It asks you to confirm that you meet Google's requirements.
And what do we all do?
Right. We've all been trained by software to just rapidly click accept on terms and conditions without reading them. So merchants just click, yeah, sure, I have a refund policy to get to the next screen.
Which is a huge mistake.
Yes. Because merely ticking that box without actually having the policy published and compliant is a documented fast-track way to get suspended.
Because the algorithm treats that click not as like a casual software prompt, but as a legally binding declaration of your site's state. You are making a claim to the network.
Right.
If the crawler bot then scans your site and cannot find that policy, you haven't just failed a site requirement, you've lied to the system. Yeah, Google categorizes that under misrepresentation. It reads as fraudulent intent, even if it was just, a rushed merchant trying to get their ads live before the weekend.
That is brutal. Okay, so the diagnosis is complete. You know the account is suspended, and you've identified which family of rules you violated, likely a site requirement.
Right.
The instinct is to fix it immediately because the clock is ticking. But the twist in the source material is that there isn't just one clock.
No, there are not.
There are 3 different clocks running simultaneously. And before you can even look at a clock, you have to pass the ultimate gatekeeper.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, understanding that gatekeeper dynamic saves merchants literally weeks of banging their heads against a wall.
Because everyone just mashes the review button.
Right, exactly. A lot of sellers assume the path to salvation is just mashing request review in Merchant Center. But Merchant Center doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's usually linked to a Google Ads account.
Right.
And if that linked Google Ads account is suspended, it acts as a brick wall. It completely blocks the Merchant Center review process.
Google explicitly states the ad suspension has to be fixed first.
Yeah.
You cannot bypass it.
That's the critical hierarchy. The nuance here is directional causality. A suspended ads account prevents a Merchant Center review from moving forward. But, and this is key, a Merchant Center suspension doesn't necessarily cause the Google Ads suspension.
Really? But they happen at the same time.
Right. Because both platforms often go quiet in the exact same week, merchants naturally assume one triggered the other, but practically you have to treat them as two separate legal cases that just happen to share a root cause.
Ah, I see.
You clear the ad suspension first because it's the bouncer at the door, not because your Merchant Center case created it.
Okay, so let's say you clear the bouncer. The Google Ads account is in good standing. Now we face the clocks. And this is where the psychology of waiting completely breaks down for business owners.
The published timelines are notoriously misunderstood. Like, the first clock is the warning window. For many standard violations, Google will send a warning email giving you 7 or 28 calendar days to fix the issue.
Calendar days.
Yes, calendar days, before they actually pull the plug on the account. But if the violation is egregious, like malware or blatant counterfeits, they skip the warning entirely and just drop the hammer immediately.
Right. But that initial window uses calendar days. The moment you enter the review phase, though, the measurement of time shifts.
It changes completely. Once a formal review of the account is underway, Google states those reviews typically take 7 business days.
Business days.
Right, and if you are requesting a re-review after you've already received a suspension notification, that typically takes 3 to 7 business days to complete.
It's like promising a client their store will be back up by Friday because you counted 3 calendar days from a Tuesday submission. But you actually submitted the request late on a Thursday afternoon.
Yep, you're already behind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Business days mean you're already deep into next week before a human reviewer or even like the secondary algorithm pulls the file. You have to understand how big tech measures time. Otherwise, you're going to make promises to your stakeholders that are mathematically impossible to keep.
And that waiting period is excruciating, which is why, assuming the ads account is clear and you understand the timeline, your preparation for that review has to be flawless. You don't just guess what's wrong. You run a very specific audit.
Right. The sources outline this. For those, misrepresentation and website needs improvement, suspensions, which we established are the biggest traps, Google actually publishes a highly specific 4-part website audit.
You essentially have to train yourself to see your store exactly how Google's bot sees it.
Okay, let's go through it. What's part 1?
The first part of that audit is about establishing consistent business information. Your legal business name, your physical operating address, your customer service phone number, and your email address must match perfectly. Perfectly. Across the website's front end and the back end of the Merchant Center account.
See, consistency sounds incredibly simple on paper. It sounds like a set-it-and-forget-it task from day one. How does this actually fail so quietly in the real world? Like, how does the bot catch it?
It fails because of something we can call admin debt.
Admin debt.
Yeah. Inconsistency doesn't look like fraud to you, the store owner. To you, it's just the messy reality of running a growing business. Like, maybe you moved to a larger warehouse last year, so you updated the address on your Contact Us page, but you left the old address hard-coded into the footer of your website theme.
Oh, wow. I can see that happening so easily.
Or maybe you changed your support phone number but forgot to update the settings panel in Merchant Center. The bot crawls your site, uses APIs to cross-reference the text in your footer with the legal entity data provided to your account, and it spots the discrepancy.
And to a human, it's a minor oversight.
Right, but to an automated policy review, it reads as suspicious behavior. If the details don't align perfectly, you fail.
The bot doesn't do nuance. It just does matching.
Exactly.
Okay, so part 1 is auditing for consistency. Part 2 of the audit requires clear policies. You must explicitly link to your shipping, refund, and privacy policies. And the sources emphasize a critical point here. Just having those pages drafted and published somewhere in the back end of Shopify isn't enough.
No, they have to be reachable.
Right. A visitor or a bot acting like a visitor needs to be able to navigate to them without hunting.
Because the crawler maps your site architecture, if those links aren't clearly present in your main navigation or footer, the bot assumes you are trying to hide your return terms from the consumer, which is a massive red flag for trust.
Makes sense. What's part 3?
Part 3 is site functionality. This means absolutely no placeholder text anywhere on the site. If you have a stray paragraph of lorem ipsum text, you know, that fake Latin filler.
Oh yeah, that comes preloaded on new Shopify theme.
Exactly. If that's sitting on an abandoned About Us page, the bot will flag the site as incomplete and suspend you.
Because it reads an unfinished site as a potentially abandoned or scam site?
Yes. Furthermore, under site functionality, you cannot have broken links. And, crucially, Your entire checkout process must be fully functional and secured with HTTPS.
That's the secure padlock icon in your browser bar, right?
Exactly. A frequent issue is old theme leftovers, hard coding an insecure HTTP image link somewhere on the checkout page. It breaks the security certificate, the bot sees it instantly, and you are offline.
Wow. Okay, and the final part, part 4, is identity verification. You had to complete the official process inside Merchant Center using high-quality documents that perfectly match your account data.
Again, the operative concept is matching. Documents that disagree with the account details are the primary failure mode. If your LLC registration paperwork lists, say Acme Holdings, but your Merchant Center profile says Acme Superstore, the verification process will stall.
The bot needs the paper trail to be airtight.
Absolutely airtight.
So let's play this out. You run the audit. You clear out the admin debt, fix the old address in the footer, update the LLC name to match perfectly, and make sure your refund policy is boldly sitting in the main navigation. You feel confident.
You're feeling good.
You hit that Request Review button. But what happens if the review fails anyway? Because this brings us to what the sources suggest is the single most expensive mistake any merchant can make.
The absolute worst reflex a merchant can have when that review comes back unsuccessful is doing something visible immediately. Like the panic sets in and they just mash the button again.
Right, they send a second review request the exact same afternoon. Just a desperate attempt to get a different result.
And that is a fatal error because those review requests are not free. They are paid in calendar time. When a review is unsuccessful, Google automatically initiates what they call a cool-down period.
So what does this all mean for the merchant sitting at their desk?
It means during a cool-down, the review button is literally disabled. It turns gray. You cannot click it. And with each subsequent unsuccessful re-review after that, the cool-down period can be lengthened.
And they don't even tell you how long, do they?
No. Google doesn't even publish a transparent set number of days for this penalty. They just state vaguely that the period may increase. You often have to go digging into a specific item issues or products page deep in Merchant Center to even find the date when your penalty box expires.
Man, it's like a rigged slot machine in a casino.
Exactly.
Every time you pull the lever and lose, the machine doesn't just take your coin, it locks you out for even longer before you can pull it again. You're literally making your next attempt more expensive in terms of waiting time.
Yeah, that mechanism is designed to prevent merchants from spamming the review queue with minor guess and check tweaks. It forces you to be comprehensive, which is why the 4-part audit has to happen before you touch that request button every single time.
The request itself is an incredibly scarce resource. And the sources note that you cannot bypass this cooldown penalty by just rage quitting either. You can't just delete the suspended account and open a fresh one with a new email address.
Oh, please don't do that. That is one of the fastest ways to get permanently banned. It is considered a prohibited practice, falling squarely under abuse of the ad network.
Because they're tracking you.
Oh, absolutely. Google tracks IP addresses, domain registrations, billing details. If you try to create multiple accounts to sidestep an active suspension, the system will instantly link them and suspend the newly created account too.
So deleting an account does not delete the suspension history.
No, it just paints you as a bad actor trying to evade enforcement.
Wow. Okay, so this raises an important question. Wait, let me rephrase that. If the cooldown timer keeps getting longer and longer, and you can't just start over with a clean slate, when do you stop? When do you just walk away from Google Merchant Center?
Right, and this raises an important question. The signal to stop isn't going to be a final, definitive refusal from Google. The algorithm is perfectly content to let you keep waiting forever in a cycle of reviews and cooldowns.
So what's the signal?
The signal to fold comes from the arithmetic of your own business operations. If the wait time between cycles keeps expanding, and your tweaks to the website between those cycles aren't actually changing anything structural that a reviewer or bot can see.
Like if you were just endlessly rewriting product titles and hoping for the best.
Exactly. If you're doing that, you need to pause. You have to keep your storefront earning revenue on other channels. Lean into your email list, your social media presence, or direct organic traffic, rather than treating the next Google review request as your only viable business strategy.
You have to know when to fold the hand.
Yeah.
You have to recognize when the machine has won that particular battle so you can preserve your sanity, honestly, and win the larger war of keeping your business alive elsewhere.
Yeah. The ultimate goal is running a profitable business, not just maintaining a compliant Google account. Sometimes, stepping back and diversifying your traffic sources is the only rational move while the clock runs out.
Okay, let's bring this all together. We have covered a massive amount of technical and operational ground today. The ultimate bottom line from everything we've looked at in these sources is a strict order of operations.
Definitely.
First, do the website audit. Do not touch that review button until you have walked your own store exactly like a bot looking for a mismatch in admin dead.
Check your linked Google Ads account to make sure the gatekeeper is clear. And treat your review requests like you only get one, because you pay for failures with exponential time delays.
Do not try to outsmart the system by rapid-firing your requests or trying to launch secret new accounts.
Right. The system's architecture is bigger than you, and it has infinitely more patience than you do. It really is a masterclass in meticulous patience. Success here is about understanding that you are communicating with an automated bureaucracy mapping data points, not a human reasoning process capable of cutting you some slack.
And that reality leaves us with a much larger, almost philosophical question to chew on as we wrap up this deep dive. As modern e-commerce platforms increasingly rely on this kind of rigid algorithmic enforcement at scale, we really have to wonder, is the ultimate skill of the modern merchant no longer just marketing?
That's a great question.
Is it no longer about having the most incredible product curation or crafting the most beautiful brand story? Is the most vital survival skill now the ability to meticulously read and decode algorithmic bureaucracy? Are we all just optimizing for bots instead of human buyers? Think back to the digital blackout we started with. The silence of those campaigns. The difference between the blackout lasting a single day or lasting a grueling month had absolutely nothing to do with the quality of the products being sold. It had everything to do with understanding the machine. Let that sit with you until next time.